We are live. I will call the regular council meeting to order for Monday, June 9th. The District Taylor recognizes with respect the traditional territory of Treaty 8. We honor the deep connection to the land and water, where everyone's rights are respected and opportunities are available for all to thrive. Any notice of new business from council? CAO?
To accept the addendum to the regular council meeting.
So 5.1 is the public hearing of Agricultural Land Commission application of exclusion. And 11.1 new business is Spirit of Peace powwow ceremonial. So with those additions. Yeah, but we're gonna put them, that's the new business. Okay, and adoption of agenda as amended.
With the addendum?
Yeah, with the addendum. Okay, moved by Councilor Youssef, second by Councilor Ponto. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay.
Should we vary the agenda to put the public hearing after the guest?
Yeah, I think that we probably should, unless you guys want to sit through a public
I would
statute.
I would make a motion to vary the agenda to.
Oh, they're fine.
Okay.
After 6,
Sure, let's,
or after 7.
yeah, we'll vary to move 5 and 6. Moved by Councilor Ponto, second by Councilor Giesman. Any more discussion? So we just want to flip them, yeah. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, we will go to 6.1, noise and dust letter. Derek, first resident.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
I don't know. I'm really inexperienced at this. I've never done anything like this.
Well, you know what? Have a seat back down. We're all sitting. We're pretty casual here, and welcome to our council meeting. I am aware of why you're here, and thank you for coming because we'd like to hear from people for sure. As you see, you're the only ones here, so we don't hear.
I was kind of prompted I was having a conversation with my neighbor and he had mentioned that somebody had started a petition or they were in the process of starting a petition. Because they were really bothered by the dust and rocks coming in their yard and everything as well as we. So I wrote the letter and here I am. I took a few pictures of areas around town that I'm sure everybody's seen. Our location at 98th Street is kind of where the main traffic, where everybody comes down through that little dip when they come into town. And over the last couple of years, it's just got hammered right out, like to the point where there's like 3-4 inch rocks laying in the dust on the trail. And it covers everything, filters in our houses, our table, our countertops, like it finds its way in, and it's getting to the point where it's unbearable. I don't want to make it all about us because I think there is other people in town that are affected by it as well.
I agree. We live in a very dusty area. It's a very windy
Oh,
area.
It's crazy.
Especially with.
Right now, the dust is
With the
insane.
dryness.
It's really dry this year. I know, like we've been here almost 10 years, so we've seen it, and like I say, the last couple of years, you guys have noticed too, the grass is just it's irreparable, I think. Like, how do you fix that now? And it was always so beautiful. Like, used to always take my dog out back behind the fence and throw it on the frontage road, throw a stick for it and stuff. Like, now you can't even go through.
And as you see in the pictures, it's not just that path behind your house. They've gone over to the ballpark. It's everywhere now. It's uncontrolled.
No, they climb the school hill and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ride too, like
Not like
I
that.
ride.
side by side in the quad. And,
Yeah.
you know, and it
So
I just wouldn't impact people like that.
So one of the great things of Taylor that I have always felt is that we live in a recreational community where if you want to go on your side by side and get to the trails and go to them, you're able to.
Oh, 100%.
And we've had people who specifically moved to Taylor so they could do that. Now, to try to regulate the bad ones, as per se, it becomes very difficult because what ends up happening is it's the ones who are obeying not even the locks, it's not lawful, but, the kind of, respecting what's going on. They're the ones that end up getting hurt here, because if we go to the RCMP and say we want it policed, the ones that are causing the trouble don't stop. We've seen it.
No, I understand that.
Watched it right out this window where a police officer had someone pulled over and there was a guy on a quad going up spraying rocks at him, trying to get him to chase him and just to be a nuisance. And, you know, I know that lots of times they're not also residents of Taylor that are doing it.
Oh, I can tell you probably 75% of the, even 80% of the traffic is from Fort St. John.
Or
And the machines are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Like they're coming down here with like 1100s with 16-inch tires on them.
Yeah.
They're throwing rocks up at our
You know,
house.
and it's not
crazy.
just the side of the road, like they're running on the highway, like it's,
Mhm.
you know, somebody's gonna get hurt sooner or later.
So
I
what,
don't wanna be the big bad guy because I enjoy it myself too, but I used to ride out here a lot and you guys put signage up and I obeyed it. I guess I'm just,
yeah,
you know,
You're one of the good
I don't know if
ones.
signage is the answer to that area, but.
you know, we could put signs, but this is likely, a lot of it is not even our property, right? I don't know, I'd have to see where it is, but it could be provincial area, depending on where the line is, because we don't know.
Well, you guys cut it.
Yeah, we do
You're
cut it.
contracted to the.
But no, we just cut it so it looks good. I mean, inside the fence at the ball diamonds is definitely ours, I would say. For sure.
Well, that one ball tournament that just happened, there were more side-by-sides parked there with coolers and booze and tents set up than there were vehicles.
Okay, so I'm not the only one. that sees
Horrible.
Oh, yeah.
They drive by, they're telling you to
And-
F off. You sit
Yeah.
outside, it's disgusting.
And-
It's no longer a beautiful place to be.
The worst part about it is I have a young son who's dirt bikes and he gets in trouble every time he does something wrong from our neighbors, from me. And yet it's not even the kids who are causing the problem, it's grown adults.
Mhm.
You're not the first ones that have come and had concerns about this. We've discussed it and we're looking at trying to get some certain trails registered.
Mhm.
I'm sure Tumbler Ridge has trails that are designated now, whether they're registered, like we're looking into it.
Mhm.
The other thing that this involves is golf carts. We're trying to keep the community friendly for uninsured.
Golf carts.
So the minute we crack down on one, we have to crack down on the other
Yeah,
as
that's
well,
true.
kind of thing, right? Because they're both actually breaking the law, and right now it's kind of just sort of look the other way, and but it is getting worse, and I
Oh, it's,
live at
yeah.
the bottom of the hill too. I drive down that same trail that goes past your place,
Yeah.
with my quads and my.
Yeah,
I
but
try to
there's
be
like, I can
respectful, and I
pick-
go in the
pick-
grass and I slow down, but most
Yeah.
don't, right?
I can pick out the people in town that I see all the time that are from Taylor,
Yeah.
that go by our house and they just pop by. And a lot of times now that the ground's all tore up, they'll stagger to one side or the other
Hmm.
and go on the grass as they go by, which, you know, at least they're showing respect, right? Some of these people come down there and you wonder if they're gonna be able to stop by the time they get to 98. Cause there's that sidewalk and it's got a dip and then it comes onto the road. And I've seen kids
Slow down.
on a dirt bike that look like they're gonna freaking,
I didn't see
You want
one of
these
these
ones?
in any of the photos. So the one photo of the quad with the little quad, see, I like seeing when they're able to go out with their little quad and the kids are playing and stuff, but you know, maybe they're kicking up too much dust. I don't know what's going on in that particular photo, but
well, we kinda accept it too, Brent. Like we moved to Taylor with that whole idea too, right?
yeah.
And we
Like,
like that
right,
we
that's-
could ride from our driveway and
Right.
go too. But it's just, now it's getting
So what do you think we
getting
should do?
destructive.
Because
This is-
it's
I
very
actually
hard.
wrote the letter and Mike responded to me and I don't know anything about these kind of meetings or how.
Yeah, no, it's good. We
He
can
just
talk to
said
the
nobody showed
RCMP.
up before. So I figured I'd at least,
And we appreciate you showing up. We've been down this road before, and this is not the first time.
yeah.
We do see groups that kind of come and go. I do know the time where the rocks were being sprayed, we had a specific group. I don't know who they were, but they weren't kids, and they were causing a lot of problems here. And we did, like, I mean, I personally called the RCMP. I saw them park behind the golf course and go in there. I sat there. They say, well, will you go to court? Yeah, I'll go to court. And one police officer went in there. He pulled up behind there was 2 dirt bikes and a quad. And he went in there, and as soon as he went in the clubhouse, they ran out. They got the dirt bikes out. He did end up stopping the quad. He got one guy, but they just run from them. And like, I'll tell you, they don't like chasing them. So the second they start taking off, that's it.
You're
That's
not
it.
allowed to.
They just don't do anything. And it's gonna be you and your side by side. You're gonna go out to go somewhere, and a cop's gonna light you up. You're gonna pull over, and now you're getting killed.
We've wrestled with this for a few years, and I don't think it ever leaves our
No.
consciousness, because I live on 97. All of us have no problem with you coming down the street, you know, respectfully and going to where you're going. It's the other ones, like you're saying, and that's
The other night I was out, I'm not really up very late, very often, I was up at 10:30, and this guy come past the back of our house, like, just ringing on it, like,
Yeah.
at 10:30 at night.
Where I live too, they do it right
It's
behind
crazy,
my.
like,
We hear, I'm on 97 too, and I hear it all the time, sometimes like, well, there was that spot there for a little bit, somebody was doing it every night at 2 or 3 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning. Just, and it was, and the dust, I agree with you, I change my furnace filter on the first of each month. I pull out, see, look at that guy.
I've started buying them at Costco now, and I buy
Okay,
them,
let's
like,
try my post
like multi-packs.
Yeah.
Cause they just, they're,
And go through it once a
Sure,
month, and that's, yeah, we don't have to write it down anymore. First month, change the air filter in the furnace, because it's full.
but like, I don't wanna be a bad guy, I don't wanna come in here and like kibosh it or try to put my foot down and tell you you should put barriers up or whatever.
No, you
No,
know,
let's go around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will
Yeah,
we will
no, I know
not, we
that,
will
I
not
know.
stop the people who are the
No.
problem. We will not
No,
stop
because
them.
what, right on
There's no
top of
gates
that,
and
the
barriers on the
golf
stop.
course. Or no?
Sorry?
Did it stop them at the golf course, the signage, or no?
No.
No, they're
Yes.
still there.
they still go well on the side.
the one thing the RCMP has said to us quite a few times is they really want us to encourage people to call the RCMP every time. Doesn't mean they can come, but the reasoning behind that is those are all official files then, which they can
They
then
can act.
justify to have more manpower. Without that, it's hearsay, it's numbers, it's anecdotal information. So I know people roll their eyes when we say call the RCMP, but when they explain that to me, I understand that. I understand that it gives them ammunition to try and get more RCMP constables here to have better coverage.
Just the fallout of that is,
It'll be you that gets busted, not the bad.
And I'm not saying it will be you, but I'm
Right.
just saying, we've been down this road with bylaw, with law. People want bylaws, you want bylaws. When we get a bylaw officer, like, well, you know, I've met the bad bylaws, not the things I do that are against the bylaw. Right? And we don't have a bylaw officer yet. I mean, we have complaint driven bylaw, but that's Taylor.
Well, then there's.
You know, you want,
There's a lot of things you accept about living in Taylor. You accept the racetrack, you accept the highway, like you accept the dirt bike track,
yeah.
and that's fine. Like, it's getting to the point now, like when I was outside the other day and that rock come over my fence, I was like, all right.
We are looking into it, I considered maybe just even putting signs up and giving them an alternative route to come and go around sort of and stay out of the more. I don't know that it would help, but we are looking into it and we're seeing if we can get registered trails, and
Yeah.
that way you
Yeah,
can
for sure.
possibly maybe start patrolling the ones that aren't registered. I don't know what the answer is, but we're trying to find one.
Even if they had a sign that said like residence or something, just something to trigger somebody,
Just
like
slow
even
down.
if they're going by, like
Even
just
if
to
it only
trigger them for a
triggers the
second. and
tenth
slow
of them,
down.
it's better than nothing.
What about them riding on the other side of the highway instead of on the side of the
We
highway where all the
we'd
houses
have to
are?
designate the trail, that's all. We're looking at, trails here. This is, I think, probably a month or two ago, we talked about seeing if we can get designated trails and crossings here. And then if we can, yes, that'll all be done through public input and we need the province's approval for it though, right? And we don't know where we're gonna get with it, but we're trying, for sure. Because once you do that, you will start to get the local ATV clubs and stuff who start policing stuff too, right? So you know, hey, it's these people that are causing the problem. And you try to say to them, hey, you're causing a problem. If we had our caretaker from Peace Island Parking here, he would tell you, there's a group that they cross the bridge, they come down the highway and they cause all kinds of problems in there for us. But they're probably not from Taylor. I'm not gonna say, because I don't know for sure they are, but they come and go, and some summers it's really bad and some summers it's not. And they're kind of lawless, some of those guys, and they're really hard to stop unless you follow them home. take video of them and then call the police and be willing to go to court. And say, this person did this.
Yeah, I don't
this,
wanna go that deep, I just,
No.
That's what they. the
Mike
first-
said nobody ever showed up, so I figured I'd
We're
just at least
coming.
be.
Well, I have personally phoned the police, I have personally followed them, I have said I'll go to court, and I never ended up going to court, but they did catch one out of 3 of them, and probably nothing happened. I mean, that, all we can do is try to pressure them to
Slow down.
slow down or stop doing what they're doing. And a lot of times, when it comes from a peer or another riding person, it has more impact, because you can try to educate them and say, look, this is the impact that you don't know that you're having, but you're having. And sometimes people just don't care because they don't respect. They either don't live here or they don't care about
No, they don't care. So that's basically what it is.
Mhm.
You can tell when they're coming by your house and they're doing 70K.
Yeah.
You know,
They could
Yeah,
care
I
less.
can tell how fast those machines are going, cause I can hear the gearboxes and them winding down as they're coming up to 98, like.
Yeah.
These guys are moving. So.
Well, we used to be able to cross the highway, just the gully, just on this side.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
then people started pulling off the highway to get to the ball diamonds, and they were starting to go through the ditch with vehicles and stuff, and making an actual road, so of course it got fenced off. And
Yeah.
now that option isn't there for the dirt bike
Well, it
squatters
redirected.
anymore, because people with vehicles were the ones that were abusing the quad trails.
It's crazy, I've seen dirt bikes come down a hill, actually in front of a transport, up on a back wheel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Like
Yeah,
there's,
It gets a little western around here.
yeah, it's a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't mind that.
We try to
We're
tone
not
it,
against it.
right. You want a little regulation, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the
Or even
toughest.
just, like I said, bring it to somebody's attention as they're ripping down through the highway.
Yeah.
Residents or.
See, it's tough for us to put up a sign that says, have respect, slow down.
Yeah, cause then I guess you enter into it with that. too.
Because then it's saying that we're acknowledging and accepting that that's a designated trail. Until we have a designated trail system and then the ability to post it.
Okay.
We do our best. We do meet with the RCMP, and this is something that we talk about every time that we meet with them.
I chase people up School Hill, I live beside the school, and I chase them up there. I've had my tires slashed.
Oh, yeah.
And this year, we've got the same group of about 6 that come and they just taunt me and my son, because they just come down just to pick our butts now.
Yeah.
We chase them off there all the time, so yeah, what are you doing?
I told Melanie I was gonna sit at the end of our blind there with my fire or with the garden hose.
Okay.
But then
Nothing else in a big
I'll
Yeah,
have a shovel beside me in case some big guy gets
I got a slingshot and a bunch of little pellets, and he's like, really, honey, has it gotten to this level? And I'm like, okay, no, I won't. But it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just getting
Oh, it's
frustrating.
bad,
though. I'm not one for something like this, and I've never done anything like this.
No, I'm glad you did though.
Well, we understand.
It's just getting.
You sit in the backyard for any length of time and you have
You're dusted
visitors and it's like, clean your eyes, can you see me now? Like, it's that bad. My
Yeah.
table is covered in dust. It's
I also don't think it's just from those quads and dirt bikes.
No.
It is extremely dry this year, and it's windy, and we need a good rain to wash some of that junk away, and hopefully that's coming.
Yeah, we had that dust last year too.
Yeah.
It's every year, it doesn't matter.
Oh, we've been just basically snow and moisture free for
I know, it's
2 and a bit months
It's
now.
so
already,
dusty out there.
which is unusual. So
I don't think that we're gonna see a change in the wind patterns anytime soon. I think that with the construction site C, it's changed our whole landscape. I think we're
I
just
think
gonna
so
be
too.
windy.
It's going to be windier, the weather
Not
is
awful.
changing.
I hate that
yeah, I
wind.
guess because it brings the level of the river up in the valley. It would change.
I think we're just gonna have it, some days are gonna be good, but I think
Curious
we're gonna
on
have more
Starbucks,
windy
the
days than
size
not.
of rocks.
Well, they just come
Which
up
is-
out of the ground when it gets.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I hate the wind.
It's so powerful now, it's 90% of the time, it's spinning off.
I did
Just
golf
decide.
yesterday, it was rather hard. I just took my ball and just went right back. Okay.
I think our biggest wish is that we could say something really definite, that this is what we can do and we'll stop it. Because like we've all said, we've been wrestling with it of how and that, and there's some, so hopefully solutions that'll start to help it. But I wish I think we all wish that we could just, this is what we can do, and this is what will stop it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I wish every one of them did 20 kilometers an hour around the trails to get out where
Yes.
they go and then give it, right? Go play. Go
Even
do
if you're
your
just
thing.
passing through town, if
Yeah.
you're coming from the
Tap a
park
light.
and going to Fort
Yeah.
St. John or vice versa,
If you just come through and just, take a good route.
and slow.
Right?
Putting up signs, that might slow some people down, but it'll just make other people go, ah.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
It's
No,
gonna,
hit the
they're gonna
sign.
drive by like this is what they do, cause they've already called me names and everything under the book just for saying, please slow down. Like, come on,
I
guys.
yelled at a guy one night and he stopped and he was actually from Taylor and he turned around and come back and he was probably a little bit smaller than you, bro. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, what have I done? That's gonna pull me over the fence. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. And he was just like all apologetic and polite. And I was like, oh, I was kind of taken back. I didn't expect that. I expected like he's coming off his bike and he's gonna grab me.
You're all right.
There is people out there
Yeah.
that respect.
Yeah.
You can tell the locals, I've got me and all my friends, we slow down and we go on the grass and try to create the least amount of dust. Yeah, then you see the next guy and they just don't care.
No, it's just getting so flowery there.
Yeah.
Getting worse and worse every year in the last couple. So, anyways,
Well, we
We
hear
won't
you.
keep them anymore. You know where we're at.
we know how things work now and we understand.
And in the meantime, if you guys do, or if you're talking to your neighbors or other people and you guys come up with maybe some helpful suggestions, come back to us. Say, hey. what
Well,
about
that kind
this?
of changed what I heard today for Brent about the designated trail and everything. That kind of
That'd be, yeah.
That'd be a good
direction.
idea.
that changes.
Well, we
And
would love
call-
it. We
and
just don't know
call the
how
RCMP.
far we're gonna get with the province, because we need to have a crossing on the Alaska Highway. And we just don't know how amiable they're gonna be to that, but we're gonna
Try.
ministry, yeah.
And then there's the highway expansion too. If that ever happens, that's gonna be everything.
That's okay. We've talked about where a good place to cross would be and things, but we need to talk to the ministry.
And call the RCMP, like what they told us is, if there's nothing on file showing that there's all this activity, because it's happening in Fort St. John too. And they stress it not just for here, but for there. If they don't have documented proof that there's all these problems, it doesn't help them try to get more people.
I've tried to catch like video of like when somebody really comes.
They're
by
going too
there and
fast.
how dusty it
Yeah,
gets.
we tried.
I can't catch them. I can't get there fast enough. I get to the fence and they're gone. So.
I know I've gone to reach for my phone and I'm gone. right?
Yeah. That's why I got the little ones. I like the little ones over there too at besides the baseball park.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to show that they're going everywhere. They're
Yeah.
Saying even the ball dying and everything.
Yeah, some parents is taking the kids over there to teach them
Yeah,
how
that's
to walk.
okay. That's
right?
cool.
Yeah,
But
and the ball
they're
in.
bikers
Yeah.
riding
Well,
through
it's in
there.
the, where the camping space. is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, they're not inside the ball. They're inside that
One
green
thing there.
space. Thank you.
Thank you for
Yes.
coming.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to 5.1, Agricultural Land Commission application exclusion. Opening statement, I'm going to make. This public hearing is being convened pursuant to the Agricultural Land Commission Act, Local Government Act, and Community Charter. At this public hearing, the public will be allowed to make representation to council and all persons present who believe that their interest in property is affected by the proposed agricultural land reserve exclusion. Application shall be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to present written submissions respecting matters contained in the proposed bylaws. Those of you who wish to speak concerning the proposed application should commence your address to council and meeting by clearly stating your name and address. Then you may be give us the benefit of your views concerning the proposed application. Members of council may, if they wish, ask questions of you following your presentation. However, the main function of council members is to listen to the views of the public. It is not the function of council at this public hearing to debate the merits of the proposed application with individual citizens. Each speaker will be permitted to address the hearing twice. Your initial presentation will not be limited, providing your comments are relevant to the issues at hand and the hearing is not being obstructed. After everyone desiring to speak has spoken once, speakers will be allowed one supplementary presentation, which will be limited to a maximum of 10 minutes. Please observe these rules, and if you have any concerns with the manner in which the hearing is being conducted, direct your comments to the chair. There was a time we did not have to read that, but we are live now, so it's good. So, is there anyone online right now?
Nope.
No. So
Was there anything received on this?
there was nothing received of this. So you guys know what this is?
You know,
This is for the lagoons, our lagoons, to take them out of ALR.
okay.
They are lagoons, so this is something that just hasn't been done. I would say housekeeping, I don't know if that's the right word for it.
Yeah, it was, the construction of the wastewater treatment plant was before or just before and during the implementation of the Agricultural Land Commission Act, so it kind of was grandfathered in. And now that we're doing work through the sludge thickening project, we want to just clean it up, make sure that we can do the additional work and any improvements to it, especially in the future, having the exclusion for the permitted use since before the act was in place.
Okay, Mr. Milton, do you have anything to add?
Agreed.
Okay, and we need, we want the resolution then at closing, or?
Both resolutions and then the closing, correct?
We already have the resolution. This was the
Oh, okay.
the initial staff report that went forward
Oh,
to council
December.
in December.
Oh,
Regarding the process. So as part of the application to the Agricultural Land Commission, we must hold a public hearing,
right.
provide the opportunity, provide the minutes as part of it.
So we don't need anything before we close this.
No, you can just close it if we've
Yeah.
received no submissions, which I
Okay,
think.
we'll close it. No one's online, so I was worried if people are online, how do they give us anything? But there is still time. This process is a public process, and if somebody does watch this in the near future, they can give some input. Okay, before closing this hearing, I'm going to call 3 times for any further speakers on the matters contained in the proposed bylaws. For the first time, is there anyone who wishes to make any further representations? For the second time, is there anyone who wishes to make any further representations? For the third time, is there anyone who wishes to make any further representations? There being no further speakers, I declare this public hearing closed. Thank you very much for your submissions. So there was no submissions written, there's no submissions brought in, and we have no public here and no one watching them. So it's, like I said, at one point, that was a check in the box, which I guess is still in, we just removed it, so. Thank you. And then so the other part just falls into the new business, right, Mr. Wally, on that?
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Thank you. No gallery, adoption of the minutes, we have special council, regular council, May 23rd, May 26th. Moved by Councilor Pronto, second by Councilor Giesberg. Any errors or omissions in there? All in favor? Good option, opposed, carried. Business horizon, any from the special council? Regular council? No. Correspondence. Anything from the list? One thing, right. Okay. 10.2, invite 18th annual Spirit of the Priest powwow, June 13th to 15th. So we have got an invite. Grand entrance, we try to be there. If you are there, be aware that you may be asked to speak. I think this is also a good opportunity that if you feel it necessary to use a land acknowledgement, we would use our prepared land acknowledgements. So either take it with you or memorize it. But on the spot, you may miss something, which is okay too.
So there's no RSVP needed. I'll just let council know that I very rarely actually miss a powwow, but I'll be missing it this year because of everything happening. My dad.
Do we have to let them know if we're gonna go?
Just
or
show up.
Show up.
And go find Marlene Gray Eyes when you get there.
And then she'll say,
Or
Brett,
maybe
you really
Rob.
need to make your ribbon shirt.
I was thinking that the other day, going, have you got
I have
your
one in my
picture
office.
yet?
I got one last year.
Is it gonna, is it
Yeah, you
stretchy?
got one. You got one.
Nope.
No.
If you're a woman, she will make you wear the skirt over your pants. This is a true story.
Yeah, there's some rules.
And
around
there are
it,
some
but
rules
you
too
can-
about women, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
make sure you Google it.
There you go. Okay.
Shoulders covered, skirt.
No moon
If
phase.
you're in the phase, that's it.
Okay, 10.3, Minister of Housing and Municipal Affairs. I don't think there was any
There's no action.
action out of this one.
There is no action in it, but if council wants consideration of this letter to be included as part of a discussion point for UBCM ministerial meeting,
I don't think that
just
this
stick with
is,
the aging
yeah.
in place, okay?
Okay, then we have Emily Jordan Keely. So, he's offering, this is a letter offering support at the UBCM. So if we want him there, we just have to share the times.
Well, he's also requesting an in-person meeting just to discuss the current issues of the region too.
Sure.
And, I mean, let's let him, to me, let's let him know and they can figure out scheduling.
He's welcome to come anytime.
Preferably during a regular council
Yes.
meeting day.
Yeah, for sure, as he can come as a guest and help.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have what we varied the agenda for. Any other discussion on that?
It's like I said, then, I wish we could just do something specific.
Okay, we'll go to new business 11.1, the Spirit of the Peace Powwow ceremonial fire. Mr. Goulet.
Thank you very much. We brought this forward the last few years as well because of the fire bans. I believe I'll quickly speak to it, I guess, because we only handed it to you for the meeting. Essentially, because of the fire bans, can't have fires. This is a request so that they can have their ceremonial fire, which is watched by a fire keeper. It is a small contained unit, and they've worked with the fire chief in the last few years on where that can go and how that looks.
I would move that the Spirit of the Peace Powwow be granted permission to have a non-propane ceremonial fire for the event.
Moved by Councilor Ponto, second by Councilor Giesbrecht. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you for.
Direction to ask the association to work with the fire chief to ensure.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks for remembering that, by the way. I know we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Every year it seems now, unfortunately.
Maybe one day, we'll be gonna try.
Okay, recommendations from committee of the whole, 12.1 relationship building with First Nation partners in Squamish.
Thank you. So last committee of the whole, we had the discussion about dissolving the First Nations Land Acknowledgement Development Committee as its services were no longer required. And there were additional conversations about hosting and district-owned facilities, posting the adopted land acknowledgement. Asked to reach out and get quote for 10 by 18 signs. We're looking at $224, and they're on a metal background as opposed to a plastic.
Bond.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make the recommended resolution that council moves to dissolve the First Nations Land Acknowledgement Development Committee. If council approves, the council approve the expense of $224 for the development of 10 land acknowledgement signs to be installed at district facilities.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Garcia, second by Councilor Ponto. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, 12.2, 2025 financial report.
Thank you. This is just a follow-up from our last committee of the whole meeting, looking for resolution to accept the report as presented.
I would move that the January 1st to March 31st, 2025 financial report be accepted as presented.
Moved by Councilor Ponto, second by Councilor Turnbull. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. So thank you. And council reports. Councilor Giesler.
Nothing to report at this, busy doing gardening. Hardwood.
Awesome. Councilor Graziano,
Nothing to report.
Councilor Campbell.
Got nothing.
All up to you, Michelle.
Councilor Turnbull.
Nothing to report.
All right. I went to a few meetings. I went to the mayors and chairs meeting, which was an update on the status of primarily wildfire, drought. We talked about snowpack. There's not a lot. It melted early. There wasn't much. It's dry. There's fires. It was, you know, we keep hearing it, but yeah, it's out there. So if as they become closer, I know that we do get updates. I do get EOC updates every day through the
You get the sit
PRD.
rep.
So I can start sharing some of those as if they're pertinent to our area for sure. Did 2 North Peace Regional Airport meetings. As you can imagine, lots going on there. Lots going on there. Most of it has to do with some construction things that we're doing. And working on. PRD meeting, attended that. Anything specific I don't want to share. There's some, but it's in camera right now, but it'll be out right away. And we'll be able to share that, which is kind of good news, I would say. And Northeast Roundtable, I attended that. That was a wonderful, almost all-day meeting, which again was kind of like the mayors and chairs meeting, but there's representatives there from the, well, we call it Walrus or Waters Land Stewardship, whatever it is. It's the same story pretty much in most of these meetings. Actually, out of that one, there was some information I wanted to share, which was a lot of the TLE and TLA lands have been identified now, and they will be, if they're not on the website, they should be on the website now.
So it's firmed up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can go on and see where they're at. A lot of them are firmed up, so now we gotta go through and we talked quite a bit about the impacts to some of the, of course, in the Northeast Roundtable, there's Trappers Association and different representatives from different places there, so the impacts of those different user groups of the areas now, so it's interesting information though. And I think that was it. There's something else. I think that's it, yeah. Yeah.
Good thing you were doing something.
Meetings. I mean, I can sum up probably 10 hours of meetings into it's dry and there's fires.
Yeah.
And you know, because you get a lot of reports on a lot of information and charts and graphs. Yeah, we need rain. We need snow. It'll come. I'm sure. Hopefully, it's somewhat cyclical. I can remember a time when Hydro was in here talking to us, or the ministry, and Hydro and the reservoir was so low, and they're talking even with some exceptional years, and it's going to take like 15 years to bring this thing back up. It was like 3 years later they had the spillway open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just, things can change that fast, and we hope that we do get some moisture years here.
It was almost ironic when we were in Prince Rupert for NCLJ, because on days where it just poured, and I mean poured all day,
Right.
and yet here,
Nothing.
Oh my God, they was telling us we recorded 9 feet of rain a day, or a year
a
that
day.
day.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's
a
a
lot of rain.
lot of rain.
Send someone away.
Yeah, since our
On the water, so.
okay, staff reports. None. Bylaws 15.1 official community plan, bylaw 80.
There's a resolution, so
There it is.
I would move that the District of Taylor official community plan bylaw number 880, 2025 receive first and second reading as presented this 9th day of June, 2025.
Moved by Councilor Papa, seconded by Councilor Turnbull. Discussion?
The other thing is, it's,
I'm just
you know, I don't have a problem with it, but it's kind of sad that a lot of the input that went into this was from 2023.
Mhm.
And then now, it's just, how much different would it be in 2 years later, right?
Yeah.
We can't provide
I'd
that.
also just like to note as well, just for record keeping, presented this ninth day, not his.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
10.3 Ministry of Housing and Municipal, like, did we address that in this OCP? Or,
The correspondence?
well.
On today's
was it-
correspondence?
Was it just correspondence? You said that it was noticed that we weren't in
Yeah.
compliance because we weren't allowing 3-story buildings or something?
It was in this
Yeah.
letter.
Yeah.
Ministry of Housing Municipal, there's a letter, it was
Yeah.
in there, I'm sure.
But, okay.
There
What
was
does that have-
something, I read that, Murray,
what does
because
that
then there was
do?
something else and
However,
I thought, no, we're
monitoring
good.
identified ongoing barriers to building, including inconsistency. Where was it? Yeah, there it is, very last paragraph. Ensure we have progressive site standards for 3 to 6 unit development by allowing building heights of 3 stories and 11 meters aligning with policy mix.
Page
I was
20.
just curious if we kind of ignored that because we looked after it in those key. because we-
if I may,
Yes,
this is a generic letter sent
Yes.
to all municipalities, not
Okay.
specifically to us.
Not that.
and we don't
okay.
have a housing issue here.
All right, good
Not
enough.
based on our in-term housing needs assessment.
Yeah.
I think we need to build one in the next 5 years.
It's,
Okay,
this is an issue in BC, but not Taylor.
all right.
That's
I
why-
just
that's
seen,
why we
I just
passed
seen
over.
their mayor and now that I see it, it's not just,
No, no.
okay.
Yeah. Good enough. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. No notice of motion, no media or gathered here, no closed council, we will adjourn the regular council meeting. And we go back to committee. Closed committee.
Almost done.